All right, good morning, everybody. This is Daryl here with Realty Relations Group, and I'm sitting with Al from Hyattsville, Maryland, and we're going to talk about the situation he had with a property that was owned by his grandma,
Correct.
and how he worked to resolve it.
Yes.
So, Al, tell me a little bit about your situation and what was going on.
Well, my situation was that I didn't know I had a situation until I had a phone call from your company. I was actually visiting my grandmother's house one day, and I happened to pick up the phone, and I talked to one of your employees, and they told me the situation the house was in. They told me the house hasn't paid any taxes for several years behind. The state and the county wanted to take the home. So I was surprised of the situation, but since I just got a random phone call, I had to kind of research the company that was calling me. So it took me a couple of days. I researched Realty Relations Group
Yep.
and made sure they were legit. I saw they were veteran owned. Me being a veteran, that gave me a little bit more reassurance, but I still wanted to do my research. So I searched for a couple of days and looked at other testimonies, and it seemed legit. So I contacted them 2 or 3 days later, got more information. We set up a meeting, and they came to my home, and we kind of laid out all the details and the different approach to take to kind of resolve this issue. They were very thorough. They went line by line, every little option I had. Didn't have to go with them. They gave me options outside of their company to also take too. So they're very informative of my options. So we went from there, and I decided to go with them because this group was very, very thorough in the way they explained things to me. They took the time and the patience. It wasn't trying to make a quick buck. It was trying to inform me of my choices.
All right. I mean, yeah, so most people do get kind of surprised when we reach out to them. I've had different kinds of versions of interactions with people. Some people are mad when they get contacted. Some people have no clue what's going on. Some people are ecstatic because they're like they didn't have any help at all and they were looking for some help. In this situation, you're away from the property helping grandma out, constantly working, and we reach out to you out of the blue.
Yes.
And you hear like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, and in this case, the counties aren't good at tracking people down, so they're sending mail, but you're not getting the mail, and it's probably because it's just bouncing back and heading back to the county. So we swooped in. I mean, you talked to my associate Kevin,
Correct.
and Kevin informed you what's going on. We came in with an appointment, and I laid it out on what we call that Benjamin Franklin matrix,
Yes.
on all your options on whether you wanted to use us or
Yes.
whether you didn't. And it took you a couple days, but when I got back to you, you were like, okay, let's go forward with this. Would you say we took care and measured up to everything that we said we were going to do?
You did, even though I was hesitant because I say a strange phone call from a company that's know more about what's going on with my grandmother's property than I do. I really wasn't. As I say, I had to do my research because I wasn't sure if it was a scam,
Okay.
or if these people are really trying to take more profit or more money out of the situation because they think we're desperate or because of the issues going on. So after our meeting, after we talked, we met, I realized you guys were legit. And also did my research outside of, from looking up online, looking up other, places I can research the company. I did all of that, and then I decided to choose you because, as I say, from our first meeting, I felt very comfortable.
Okay. I find that really interesting. Why do I say that? Because a lot of these investors go around and you don't know who they represent, what they're doing. I try to be really open and I try to be easily found.
Yes.
You would say if you would research my name or you would research a company's name, was it easy to find on the internet?
I'm not going to say very easy, but you can find the information if you search hard enough.
Okay.
And as I say, I looked up, they gave me their business cards. I looked at their names. I looked at their Facebook. I looked up any kind of business reference over the years. I try to look up everything to make sure I'm dealing with people that were legit.
Well, I'm going to take that as a note because it should be completely easy to find me. So I'm going to have to work more on that SEO, trying to get my name out there a little more. And videos like this do help. So that's a good point right there. I figured that out because I deal with a lot of older folks that, well, not internet savvy, but I walked into this lady's house in Fort Washington one time, and she said the other guy didn't want to tell me who he was. He wouldn't give me a card. He wouldn't say anything. He just wanted to work with the house. And I was like, well, I'm not hiding. Here's my information. Here's my bio. You can find me. Go look me up. Go. You need somebody to call, let me know. I got references.
Yes.
So I'm always trying to make people at ease. Would you say me traveling to you was a lot easier than you having to come find me?
Yeah, you traveling to me changed the let's put it this way, you changed the atmosphere of the conversation because now I'm in my home having discussion and I have more control of the situation and feel more comfortable making the choice and option because I'm not feel like I'm being pressured in any kind of way. You come into my home and laid out all the options, and I was able to make a great choice in choosing you guys after everything was presented to me.
And we even ran into some stumbling blocks, right? Here that I had an attorney help you with, right?
Yes.
We ran into a power of attorney issue with the state of Maryland, not exactly being what the state of Maryland wanted.
Yes.
And I went ahead and funded and got you a whole new power of attorney.
You did. My original power of attorney was almost probably 10 years older. I guess the state of Maryland changed their process and the type of power of attorney that you need for these type of actions. So your group actually helped me resolve that issue and allow me to do a lot of other things outside of that process because I've allowed to also do banking things and other things to help my grandmother at her time where she's more bedridden.
Okay. So what I try and do is try and make it as a done for you as possible. Basically, you call us in and we do everything that we can to make it seamless where you don't have to really do much but show up and sign.
Yes.
Would you agree that kind of, well, maybe not 100%, but about 97% done for you?
It was very smooth. I was very impressed with that process.
All right. Anything else you want to add? I mean,
no, I just want to say I had a great experience. A lot easier than I thought. As I say, I had my suspicion of not knowing if this is really a legit company and they're trying to take advantage of, like so many things you hear on the internet and people that you hear, business trying to take advantage of people that are in need. I found that this experience was very well laid out for me with you guys' help, and you guys really came through at the right time, and I really do appreciate all the help.
All right. Well, we are a veteran-owned business. We're trying to, protect either your home or your home's equity from basically corporate takeovers. That's the biggest thing. We kind of come in and honestly, we're trying to be a little bit of Robin Hood. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yes. Sometimes we can help you save your home. Sometimes we can't because it's just too far gone.
Yes.
But one way or the other, we're going to help you save something. And hopefully we did that for you, and you got exactly, it looks like grandma's doing well.
Yes.
And she's been taken care of, and you guys are in a better place, you would say.
I agree. Totally.
All right, well, Alan, I appreciate the testimonial. Thanks for talking to me. I wish you the best in the future, and if you have any questions, or anybody has any questions, check us out at realtyrelationsgroup.com. That's realtyrelationsgroup.com. And maybe we'll be able to help you just like we helped Al and his family. All right?
Thank you.
Not a problem.